Hello, everyone. This is Coach Alexis, and I'm excited to have a successful Indiana business owner here with us today. This is Shayla Hamlin of Graceful Aging Home Care, and she's had steady growth since her founding. So we're excited to hear about her journey. Okay, so Shayla, let's start with introducing yourself. Tell us a bit about your personal story, where you're born, where you live. Tell us about you.
My name is Shayla. I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go Steelers. We moved to Indianapolis when I was about 10 years old. Basically grew up in Indianapolis. I grew up in the Pike Township area, so I went to Pike High School. After graduating high school, I went to Indiana University, where I received a degree in biology and African American studies. In my head, I thought I was going to go and be a doctor after graduation. And it was just so I graduated Indiana in 2010. And so during that time, a lot was happening with the Affordable Care Act and the ACA. And so I really turned my passion towards health policy. And so I went on to get my master's or my master's in public health with a concentration in health policy from the George Washington University in Washington, D.C. After which I worked for a couple private industry or public, companies, but then I went over to the government sector. And so I worked with Medicaid. I worked with the healthcare exchange in Washington, D.C. And so I really got my feet wet in the health policy world, working with different stakeholder groups. So, of course, the regulators on the federal and state side, but also insurance companies as well, which really helped me to grow my business to what it is today and really help engage all those important stakeholders.
It's a lots of education and lots of experience from all different angles. That sounds
Yes.
awesome. So tell us how your business came about and at what point did you have the confidence that you could run your own business?
Funny enough, I have a business partner with Graceful Aging. Her name is Erica Nolan. She had reached out to me. We went to high school together, but I hadn't seen or talked to her probably since we graduated high school. We were friendly in high school, but we weren't like friends. She reached out to me. She had the idea or was inquiring about starting a home care agency, and she didn't really understand the policy piece. And so, me having the policy knowledge in the background, that's where I was like, okay, maybe I could, be helpful in this area. At the same time, my grandfather was having a bunch of different health issues. And so we were accessing a lot of long-term care for him. And so really seeing firsthand what home care agencies are like, what assisted facilities are like, nursing and skilled nursing and rehab was like firsthand. There could be improvement in the industry. So we looked at that and I was like, okay, I think I can make this better. And so we launched Graceful Aging to try to do just that.
Awesome. That is so awesome. So how did you come up with your company name?
That was all Erica. That was Erica came with the name, and I was like, okay, I could do that. I like that. Our whole mission is to truly help our clients, age gracefully as possible. A lot of our clients deal with different comorbidities. Diabetes, may suffer from stroke, dementia, Alzheimer, but they're not done living yet. And so that's, our take on it. It's just like, listen, even though you're dealing with all of this, you're going through the aging process, which can be, scary, challenging, and, all of that. We still want to make sure that, your last years are the best years. And so, that's what our mission is, and that's what we, strive to do every day.
That is so important. So you're helping people, you're making life better in our end years, and you're making things easier for families. What has been your biggest learning as a business owner?
The importance of adaptability, and this could be used across any, business sector, whether in your home care industry or not. No matter how well you plan, there will always be, unexpected challenges that are going to occur, whether it's, market shifts or customer needs. So you have to have the ability to stay flexible and pivot when necessary. And it's just crucial to sustaining your growth and growing your business.
Makes sense. What do you attribute your growth to?
Let's see, a few things. So, a reputation of just quality service. Because I understood firsthand being on the receipt, like as a family member when my grandfather was going through his journey. Um, you know, it's important to make sure that you are doing this from a place of giving, right? And so these families come to you and sometimes in their neediest times and they have a loved one who is suffering and they need the help. And so making sure that every day our caregivers are providing high quality services and that builds our reputation in the community. We work with a lot of case managers throughout Indianapolis, and we've been able to literally build our business with little to no marketing. And it's really been just word of mouth based off of our reputation. Once we service a few clients and the case managers, got wind that, hey, that's an agency where even some of my difficult clients actually aren't changing providers. We became that agency that we could take the difficult cases and service our clients, and they love us and they stick with us. The other thing with that, and it's kind of in line with that, is just addressing any issues very promptly. No matter what the industry, it is, whether you're dealing with people or you're an accountant, if you have a customer that has an issue, be transparent with them, apologize, address the issue, make sure they're heard and, resolve their issue quickly. And then just effective problem solving. I try as much as possible when I'm, running my business to take the emotion out of it sometimes when issues come up, right? And so that allows me to be able to think clearly. Like I can't freak out every time something doesn't go our way. I have to be able to remain, just clear headed so I could be able to think clearly so I could come up with a solution that's best for everyone involved.
That makes total sense. So you can't freak out every time something happens. You got to have effective problem solving. Those are the things that can help with your growth. What would you say are some common misconceptions about running a business?
I think the one that I always have to push back on people is that like because I'm the boss, like I don't answer to anyone, right? And it's like no matter what the industry, you're answering to someone, right? And especially in this industry, I have to answer to the state, I have to answer to the federal government because I'm a Medicaid provider as well. You answer to the IRS, you answer to your customers, different stakeholders, you have a board. And so you're yes, you have a lot of deference in running a business. But there's always going to be someone you answer to, and being the boss means carrying all those responsibilities and making sure expectations are met. And so yeah, you have some checks and balances in this.
That's so true. So, as you think about the next 1 to 2 years, what would be your number one challenge or your focus area for achieving your goals?
I think just in this industry as a whole, is just there's a large turnover rate in terms of employees. And so we're always thinking of innovative ways to just retain staff. And because I can't grow without the caregivers, right? My clients need a caregiver. And so I'm always capped at the number of clients I could take on based on the number of staff I have. And so making sure that I continually am hiring, high quality caregivers and retaining them as well is very important, to our growth.
Awesome. Definitely. Well, growth is so key. So, what advice do you have for any type of business owner that's trying to do things without help from others?
So I would say if you're first starting out, right? If you have a business idea and you want to take that risk and start your business, the number one thing I tell all new entrepreneurs, do not quit your day job just yet. Okay? Do not do that. The financial stress of trying to worry about your household and trying to run a business is not needed. So if you can try to work your day job as long as possible as you get started in business and build your business. The other thing is start with a clear vision and plan. Like I'm a big proponent of, sitting down and writing a business plan. It doesn't have to be perfect because as you start your business and as you 6 months, a year and a half in, that business plan is going to look a lot different, but you need to sit down and think through some of the big ideas and kind of give an outline of what your business, making sure, you nail down who your target market is, any financial projections, and steps to achieve those objectives and things of that nature. That needs to be thought out. The other thing is just know your market and your customer, right? Like research your industry. I do a lot of like shopping the competition. So I'll call different home care agencies or assisted living facilities, like, hey, I'm looking for care for my grandmother. I'm trying to get some information on your prices, right? So I do that where you can. And just build like a strong support network as well. In the beginning, we utilize like a lot of our friends and family, right? So I have friends who are lawyers. I'm not paying attorney fees. Like, can you review this contract, right? I have friends who are accountants and nurses and pharmacists. So really draw on your network. And if you don't have anyone who's a lawyer or nurse, maybe the people in your circle can connect you to those people. So definitely rely on them and get as much free help and support as you can as you're starting. And then I think the number one thing is just make sure you take care of yourself, right? Being a business owner is very stressful. We have a staff right now in Indianapolis of about 50, and the thought of not only does this business provide food for me and my household, but I have the responsibility of making sure that every day I make the right decision so my staff can provide for their families. And that is a burden that I welcome, but it's also can be a lot sometimes. And so making sure you take care of yourself, whether that's self-care, whether that's getting away, enjoying an activity that you always like to do. Don't give up on those things, find the proper balance to make sure you can be a whole person so you can run your business effectively.
Awesome advice. Awesome. Well, Shayla, it was a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you for being on the show. Please tune
Thank
in
you
to
for
Indiana.
having me.
Yes, absolutely. Please tune in to Indiana Business Spotlight podcast to hear the story of other business owners.